Hey there, I'm vidmaestro, and this is a brief tutorial on how to obtain the I Would Have Been Your Daddy skull and its effects in Halo 2 without actually fighting the 28 Elite Ultras. This is applicable to all versions of the game, be it Classic, Anniversary, or Vista. For the 3 Halo 2 Vista fans out there, do note that if you're playing the original Xbox version specifically, it is highly recommended that you do this on a separate profile as to make it easier to reobtain the skull's effects for later, especially if you plan on doing LASO runs. The only requirements for this are that you have to play Outskirts on Legendary by yourself. The skull will not spawn otherwise. No additional skulls are needed to obtain I Would Have Been Your Daddy, though if you're having trouble with some of the platforming, you can enable Sputnik. As soon as the mission starts, immediately make your way to Sniper Alley. You'll want to do so via the rooftops, as it's generally the safest way there. It's recommended to obtain a checkpoint just before you attempt to spawn the I Would Have Been Your Daddy skull itself, as there is a 1 in 7 chance for the skull to actually spawn when you enter its trigger volume. Do note that if you get a checkpoint after triggering Sniper Alley, you will have to restart the level, as the skull is specifically scripted to never appear if you revert to last checkpoint after entering Sniper Alley. It is paramount then that you delay the checkpoint up to where the skull is housed and wait a few seconds. If nothing happens, then revert to the last checkpoint and try again. Eventually, the skull will spawn, and by this point, you will want to backtrack to where the blind skull spawns. The trigger volume is indiscriminate. It doesn't specifically check if you're holding the skull from the room, just any oddball, so avoid going near it. Unless you prefer pain, that is. After picking up the blind skull, you will want to make your way to Hotel Zanzibar, ideally picking up a checkpoint along the way. Kill the Elite Ultra and the grunt harassing the Marine Squad, and run through the hotel. You can choose whether to take on the squad that spawns, or just head glitch until they pass you. It's generally safer and more optimal to head glitch, as it saves a lot of time dying to the blatantly overpowered pistol whipping that some punk-ass elites can pull off. Seriously, this shit can kill you in one hit on a difficulty as low as normal. Talk about fucking stupid. After exiting the hotel, you will want to make a hard right towards the highway and run all the way down. At this point, you can simply parkour your way up the tunnels. Once up, you can scale this very low poly-satellite dish and antennae to once more reach higher ground. And by this point, it's a straight shot to the end of the walkway. You should see a chasm leading to some more geometry. It doesn't look passable, but there is some invisible geometry that allows you to just walk across. I'd recommend hugging to the left and jumping across as you near the other side. Look to your right. You should see a building and some tall geometry to the right of that. Depending on which BSPs you've loaded on your way here, there may be a jackal sniper that spawns this far out. Don't worry, it usually doesn't bother the player, but if it gives you the stink eye, you can murk it just to be safe. Approach the tall geometry. You should notice that there's a bend in between. You will want to approach this bend by slowly walking into the wall at an angle, and within a few seconds, voila. The game is attempting to pull you into the Sniper Alley BSP to start the I Would Have Been Your Daddy encounter, but since it is deloaded by this point, it ends up despawning the player. However, the trigger itself is still fully functional, as the screen will constantly fade to white as the game tries and fails to spawn the 28 Elite Ultras. After about 30 seconds, the game assumes the encounter is complete, as it has exhausted all 28 spawns, and just gives you the skull. By this point, you're all done. If you've gotten a checkpoint before, or during this sequence, you can simply reload the level and obtain the effect whenever you'd like, though any checkpoints after will soft lock the level, as the player will never respawn, thus requiring a mission restart, and more setup if you fucked up this far. That's about it though. Take it easy, Spartans.